Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whenever you get the chance to listen to this wonderful podcast. This is the Marketing Combat Podcast with me, Jason Donnelly, and one of the best people I've ever met on the planet. I haven't met a lot of people, but anyway,
Is that true?
One of a wonderful person.
One of the people
that I've met in the world here in Denmark currently. His name is Chris Kubernis. Tell us what we're fighting about
people?
Today.
Well, if you're new to the podcast, this is the Marketing Combat Podcast where we battle it out every single weekday for your pleasure about a marketing topic or a piece of tech news or something that's impacting the media marketing industry, and we debate it. And the funny thing is that somebody has to take one position and somebody else has to play devil's advocate to that position, and we don't know who's going to take which position or what position they're going to take. So it becomes a little bit of a debate, and it becomes a exciting discussion about something, and somebody might be fighting for something that they actually don't even care about, which often happens, which is kind of fun. So as today's topic, will Apple become a force in AI, artificial intelligence, or is it too late to catch up? And I'm going to say this, it's too late for Apple. The ship has sailed. They are way behind when it comes to this. Siri, who is, supposed to be their sort of assistant, voice-activated thing, has been crap for many, many, many years. They have not invested in that product. They've invested in making as much money as they can, selling you stands at $1,000 for crappy screens that you can pay a quarter of the price for and get the same technology, get the same results. They've been focused on milking the consumer with dongles and lazy updates to products that have not been good enough. They have been focused on just cashing in on their position because they realize that they can't sell any more phones. They've been focused on selling you thinner iPads, which is like nobody wants or asks for. And so they have not focused on what they should have been, which is AI. So they're so far behind that they've actually had to partner up with OpenAI to catch up a little bit. And I'm guessing they're going to partner with that, bring that in, but they're so far behind that I think it would take them a miracle to bring it back. I think there's too many good apps out there. Midjourney, OpenAI, like I already mentioned. There's this new one, Kling, out of China.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and those are just models, or those are just like apps to build specific things. But I think Apple should have had this, AI technology in everything at this point. They should have had it, running on your computer. It should have been your assistant to pull up stuff. It should have been running on your phone. It should have been running as part of your, as part of your camera on your phone, as part of Apple Podcasts, as part of Apple. All Apple products should have had an AI component in them at this point, and they haven't. So they're way far behind. They better pull up their socks and get started on something. Otherwise, they're going to be left in the dust by others. That's my take on it.
And I love your take,
Jason. Yeah,
I got to tell you why you're wrong. Do you want to know why?
Yeah, tell me. I want to know.
Because no matter what Apple puts out, every Apple fanboy or fangirl will buy it. So the iPhone 16 is coming out, which is going to have their partnership with OpenAI, which is going to bring AI directly to all of the users who buy the new Apple iPhone 16. I would bet money that at this event that is happening today, actually, I would bet money that they announced that you need the Apple iPhone 16 to get the capability to use the OpenAI combination. And then because because all of the people are going to buy them, Apple's going to make more money. Apple's going to have more guinea pigs. Apple's going to just take all that knowledge. And then since they're a, multi-trillion or trillion-dollar company, whatever, they've got the money to do whatever they want. If that's buy all the AI companies that they need to make this happen, if that's pay the developers to make it happen, they're going to have the people to study from, the people to look at, the people to test the stuff directly on the iPhone that is going to transfer the information to them instantaneously, and then they'll fly. So all the people who just don't understand, don't use OpenAI, don't use Midjourney, don't use all the stuff coming out, Sora, all the fun stuff that Chris and I are a little bit in love with. People that aren't using that are going to be using their iPhone, and then they're going to try the new features and just share it with Apple. They're going to click the contract, yes, share all my information, share everything that I do with OpenAI or AI, and they're going to be able to explode so much faster than all the other companies, because consider 40 plus, 50 plus, 60 plus users who are afraid of AI and don't want to use it on their computers or their at-home computer. They're going to use it on their phone, and then they're going to send the info to Apple to dominate. I would bet I would bet money within 2 years, Apple's number one on AI. It's going to be like Apple intelligence instead of artificial intelligence, and they'll win the game.
You heard it here first, folks. Apple intelligence. Wow. Okay.
AI, Apple
You should be in
intelligence, they'll
marketing,
win it all.
Jason. Yeah.
That sounds...
Yeah. Apple intelligence. Maybe that's what they're going to come out with. You've heard of AI, but have you heard of Apple intelligence? Dude,
it's even easier.
Maybe you're even predicting it here. Guys, the event hasn't happened. So if any word of Apple intelligence is on your Apple bingo card for today's event, Jason should put money on it. Maybe there's some Vegas stakes that you can put in there and like get some betting on some words that they're going to say. So Apple intelligence, you heard it first. I think that's an interesting take on it, Jace. I think that you're right from a user standpoint that they'll have much more data. But where I will say there's a wrinkle in that theory is that they've been trying to be the good guys. They've been trying to make sure that privacy laws are kept to, and they're the ones that killed cookies. So they're not really good at sort of like taking all that user data and actually activating it. Whereas OpenAI and others are a little bit more rebellious, a little bit more rogue. They've been breaking the laws a little bit. They're in hot water with ScarJo, for example, and a bunch of news outlets and things like that. A bunch of authors and publishers have been like, hey, you guys are training your models on all of our content, but not paying any license for that. That's a problem. So they're in like lawsuits for this, and I'm sure they're going to pay out tons of money for that. But Apple's a little bit more clean cut gentleman out there. So I don't know if they're going to get there as fast because they are, like I said, they're safe, they're less risky, they do things like this, and their focus, their attention has been on other things. But I do think there's something interesting in like them just throwing money at it because they've got enough money that they could just push as much money down everyone's throats, buy everything. They could probably buy Midjourney. They could probably buy like all the different things that are out there. They could buy this new Kling thing that we just talked about. They could buy everything and just be like, well, we'll take all that and we'll integrate it somehow. So you're right. In that sense, that could catch them up.
And the last thing about this, everything that you're saying, I agree. But Apple just partnered with OpenAI. So they partnered with the bad boys. They're going to have the info right there.
So thanks for tuning in. That's been our take on Apple AI. Are they, behind, or are they going to kick ass in this AI revolution? Jason says they will. I'm not so sure. I think they're pretty far behind, according to this podcast. So let us know your comments, your replies. What do you think about Apple and AI? Are they going to dominate, or are they too far behind now? Thanks for tuning in. I've been Chris Cubernus. This has been
Mike Tyson, baby.
Mike Tyson has joined the podcast. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one.